Picking up on the bottom of page 196, now we get to hear Odysseus's reply to Alcinous and Arete. And he's pretty sneaky. He's thinking, okay, so this can work in my favor. I can go home with even more spoils. Okay, I'll stick around. I'll do whatever you want. Odysseus, the great tactician, answered, Alcinous, king and admiration of men, even a year's delay, if you should urge it, in loading gifts and furnishing for sea, I too could wish it. Better far that I return with some largesse of wealth about me. I shall be thought more worthy of love and courtesy by every man who greets me home in Ithaca. The king said, As to that one word, Odysseus, from all we see, we take you for no swindler. Though the dark earth be patient of so many scattered everywhere, baiting their traps with lies of old times and of places no one knows, you speak with art, but your intent is honest. The Argive troubles and your own troubles you told as a poet would, a man who knows the world. But now come tell me this, among the dead, did you meet any of your peers, companions who sailed with you and met their doom at Troy? Here's a long night, an endless night before us, and no time yet for sleep, not in this hall. Recall the past deeds and the strange adventures. I could stay up until the sacred dawn as long as you might wish to tell your story. So, in a paraphrase, Alcinous says, We don't need sleep. Keep telling your story. Did you see anyone from Troy? Tell about this. Odysseus, the great tactician, answered, Alcinous, king and admiration of men, there is a time for storytelling. There is also a time for sleep. But even so, if indeed listening be still your pleasure, I must not grudge my part. Other and sadder tales there are to tell of my companions, of some who came through all the Trojan spears, clangor and groan of war, only to find a brutal death at home and a bad wife behind it. After Persephone, icy and pale, dispersed the shades of women, the soul of Agamemnon, son of Atreus, came before me, somber in the gloom, and others gathered round, all who were with him. When death and doom struck in Aegisthus' hall, sipping the black blood, the tall shade perceived me and cried out sharply, breaking into tears, then tried to stretch his arms toward me, but could not, being bereft of all the reach and power he once felt in the great torque of his arms. Gazing at him and stirred, I wept for pity and spoke across to him. O son of Atreus, illustrious Lord Marshal Agamemnon, what was the doom that brought you low in death? Were you at sea, aboard ship, and Poseidon blew up a wicked squall to end you under? Or were you cattle raiding on the mainland? Or in some fight for some strong point? Or women, when the foe hit you to your mortal hurt? But he replied at once, Son of Laertes, Odysseus, master of land ways and sea ways, neither did I go down with some good ship in any gale Poseidon blew, nor die upon the mainland hurt by foes in battle. It was Aegisthus who designed my death, he and my heartless wife, and killed me after feeding me like an ox felled at the trough. That was my miserable end, and with me my fellows butchered like so many swine killed for some troop or feast or wedding banquet in a great landholder's household. In your day you have seen men, and hundreds die in war, in the bloody press, or downed in single combat, but these were murders you would catch your breath at. Think of us fallen, all our throats cut, wine bowl brimming, tables laden on every side, while blood ran smoking over the whole floor. In my extremity I heard Cassandra, Priam's daughter, piteously crying as the traitress Clytemnestra made to kill her along with me. I heaved up from the ground and got my hands around the blade, but she eluded me, that whore, nor would she close my two eyes as my soul swam to the underworld or shut my lips. That was one of those traditions of death, that you want to close the person's eyes and shut the person's mouth. So she was evil through and through. There is no being more fell, more bestial than a wife in such an action. And what an action that one planned! The murder of her husband and her lord. Great God, I thought my children and my slaves at least would give me welcome, but that woman plotting a thing so low defiled herself and all her sex, all women yet to come, even those few who may be virtuous. He paused then, and I answered, foul and dreadful. That was the way that Zeus, who views the wide world, vented his hatred on the sons of Atreus, intrigues of women even from the start. Myriads died by Helen's fault, and Clytemnestra plotted against you half the world away. And he at once said, let it be a warning even to you. Indulge a woman never, and never tell her all you know. Some things a man may tell, some he should cover up. Not that I see a risk for you, Odysseus, of death at your wife's hands. She is too wise, too clear-eyed, sees alternatives too well. Penelope, Icarus's daughter, the young bride whom we left behind. Think of it. When we sailed off to war, the baby boy still cradled at her breast. How he must be a grown man, and a lucky one, by heaven, you'll see him yet. And he'll embrace his father with old-fashioned respect, and rightly. My own lady, never let me glut my eyes on my own son, but bled me to death first. One thing I will advise on second thought. Stow it away and ponder it. Land your ship in secret on your island. Give no warning. The day of faithful wives is gone forever. So Agamemnon tells what happened to him, the whole Clytemnestra, Aegisthus thing, and all of that. And then he kind of brings up Penelope and says, don't ever tell her all your secrets. And he kind of reminisces what was Penelope like when they left for Troy, what was Telemachus like when they left, and oh, you'll get a big hug from Telemachus. And then he kind of warns Odysseus, no, you know what, just sneak back to Ithaca. Don't let anybody know that you're home. Kind of see how things are first. Okay, continuing top of page 200. But tell me, have you any word at all about my son's life? Gone to Orchomenus or sandy Pylus, can he be? Or waiting with Menelaus in the plain of Sparta? Death on earth has not yet taken Orestes. But I could only answer, son of Atreus, why do you ask these questions of me? Neither news of home have I, nor news of him, alive or dead, and empty words are evil. So we exchanged our speech in bitterness, weighed down by grief, and tears welled in our eyes, when there appeared the spirit of Achilles, son of Peleus, then Patroclus, shade, then Antilochus, and then Ajax. First among all the Danaans in strength and bodily beauty, next to Prince Achilles. And now that great runner, grandson of Acus, recognized me and called across to me, son of Laertes and the gods of old, Odysseus, master mariner and soldier, old knife, what next? What greater feat remains for you to put your mind on after this? How did you find your way down to the dark where these dim-witted dead are camped forever, and the after images of used-up men? I answered, Achilles, Peleus' son, strongest of all among the Achaeans. I had need of foresight, such as Tiresias alone could give, to help me homeward bound for the crags of Ithaca. I have not yet coasted Achaea, not yet touched my land. My life is all adversity. There's another line for Noah. But was there ever a man more blessed by fortune than you, Achilles? Can there ever be? We ranked you with immortals in your lifetime. We Argives did, and here your power is royal among the dead men's shades. Think then, Achilles, you need not be so pained by death. To this he answered swiftly, let me hear no smooth talk of death from you, Odysseus, light of counsels. Better, I say, to break sod as a farmhand for some poor countryman on iron rations than lord it over all the exhausted dead. So Achilles is telling Odysseus, hey, it is not anything to be dead. I'd rather be the poorest worker than be dead.